Coming up on the journey.
Grand Dame Proffesor Joyce Orone Akaniwo. I actually was born in Ishobo in Ikure local government area to the family of late Venerable S.Y. Chukwigwe retired and Matron Isabel Chukwigwe. I grew up at the village level and attended St. Peter's Primary School in Ishobo. I must say that I was one of the females then that went to school. During that time, it was not very common that parents were training females. But my mother was there for me, making sure that I was in school. After my primary school, I also attended girls' secondary school in Ishobo. That was in 1966, and that was disrupted by the war, the Nigerian Civil War. We left, ran away, and when we came back in 1970, ordinarily, people would think that I will not go to school. My mother insisted, and I also was very interested. I was put in Government Girls Secondary School, Harbour Road, Port Harcourt, where actually I finished in 1973. Unfortunately, 1973 WAEC results were seized in the whole of River State. I did not stop there. I insisted I would take the London GCE there. And I got my London GCE papers complete. When I finished that, I tried to see whether I can work. I went to the River State Transport Corporation, where I was employed as a school officer. But the management there, because of my performance and my intelligence, insisted that I should further my education. I should not while away my time there. So I went to the then River State College of Science and Technology. I registered for my A-levels, still London GCE A-levels, and I got my papers in 1974. 1970, after that, I now said, I was still, you see, I didn't believe in idleness. I still wanted to do something. I said, let me go and work. I went back to the Ministry of Information and worked as a film editor, assistant film editor then. But because of my quest to further my education, because I said I must challenge the boys. I must read to the level they also read. Having gotten the chance, I started looking for admission. But it was not easy actually, because then there were this ethnic diversity. You know, with my A levels, I went to ABU, I went to University of Joyce, to no avail. I was told the school was for Northerners. I insisted and went to University of Benin. In fact, on that course of trying to get an admission, I had a terrible accident. When eventually they have admitted me, I was coming back. But that did not deter me. Thank God I did not die, I did not have any serious wound. So I entered University of Benin in 1976 and got a degree in biochemistry in 1980. Went for my youth service in Joyce and came back. When I came back to River State, I said I will not stay idle. I started looking for a job and I was absorbed into the Ministry of Health, Public Health area. So I was in their laboratory just for some few months. Actually, I was on level 9. But I found out that I was not getting what I wanted in that work, because you go and you're lousy about and come back. And I debunked it and went and took the post of a graduate assistant, a level 8 job, just to make sure that I had a career. So I started with University of Port Harcourt 1981, November precisely, as a graduate assistant, and grew from there to all the levels, and by 2007 I became a professor of biochemistry. That's about me. I'm married to my late husband, Sir Andy Nyeche Akanimo, who died in 2015. We have 5 children, 4 males, Odoka, Habdichim, Manichim, Abanichi, and a female, the only female, Chinwe. Chinwe is married now, and Manichim is married. Growing up, let me say it was not easy. Yes, I'm from a family that can take care of me, but because of my mother's own stand about training her children, she made sure that she brought me up in a way that I knew almost everything about her hard skills. In fact, to make me work harder, she allowed me to go and live with her only sister, Dame Eunice Igwe. And I stayed with her, served her, you know, did all the hard skill, because that was part of the training. Even followed her to do her business because she was a business woman. And my staying with her actually made me work towards becoming what I am today. I went to school, I came back, did high school, I did all sorts of things, you know, to make sure that I'm working hard. She taught me that. When I went to the university, actually, it was not easy. In fact, I had to go under the auspices of the River State bursary. And when I got to the University of Benin, knowing how difficult it was to me to get admission, I left no stone unturned. And in fact, let me say categorically that the boys could not meet up with me. And they respected me for that. I actually wanted to read medicine, but I was given biochemistry. At the beginning, I was even attending both classes, biochemistry and medical. But when I saw that after digesting cadaver for 2 times, I could not stand blood, I said, oh, that's why God is trying to delay. So I now started knowing that I had to believe in my destiny. What God wanted me to do is not what I wanted to do myself. So I clung to my biochemistry and I did very well, and I came up some class upper then, because the University of Benin then it's hard to get a first class. And when I came out and joined University of Port Harcourt, everything started straightening up, and I started behaving like an adult and knew my way. So I grew up through challenges, but I was not daunted by those challenges. I moved on. Yes, my life wasn't that bad at all, because, like I said, my father was an archdeacon. In fact, he was the first archdeacon of Diocese of Niger Delta North at the Cathedral of St. Paul's when it was created from the then Niger Delta Diocese. And so we grew up in the mission most of the time with a Christian background. But that did not say that I was born again. But along the line, especially when I got married and started participating fully to God's services. In fact, I held a number of roles in the Niger Delta women ministry. The Focus magazine you are hearing about today, women magazine in Niger Delta North, I was the first editor. I was made the editor by the then bishop's wife, Mrs. Chinyere Lewon. And actually the name, I gave that name Focus. Because when she asked me what we can, we call the magazine then, I went back to God. And I looked around my life and I said, for anything to go forward, there has to be a focus. And so I said the magazine should be named Focus. So my growing up was in the vineyard, and eventually, by virtue of my work in the women ministry, and when we go for our night vigils and programs, I saw that I had no choice than to give my life to Christ. And since then, I've been working for Christ. And I'm sure that it's that amount of work and diligence that has earned me a lot in the vineyard. I had served in many committees. My husband was the first to be made a knight in St. Stephen's Anglican Church here where we worship. So I came into the Knight Council in 2004 when he was made a knight and I was a lady. But along the line, because of my work in the house of God, I am supposing that made them to also give me to be a knight of St. Mary in this diocese. That was in 2009. In 2011, I also got a knighthood called Knight of Service and Quality from Service of Quality Leadership Nigeria. So that made me have 2 knighthoods, and that's why I'm answering Grand Dame instead of Dame. So my life is for Christ, even now.
Worthy by design. On this show, We focus on the journey from girlhood to womanhood and everything in between. You are worthy by design.
Let me say, yes, that when I got married in 1983, my first pregnancy for my first child went on well. But at the end, because I was inquisitive with my reading, I was reading this women book, you know, and I went to the teaching hospital very quickly before I was really fully in labor. And in teaching hospital, if you stay 24 hours, I don't give birth, they will open you up. So that was my first challenge. They induced me, the induction failed, and they said I was going to be operated. That I resisted, you know, as a biochemist and you know, the doctors there from my own university. But when my mother came as a matron and saw the position of the child, she said I should go on. So that was my first challenge. I went into the theater and came out. My baby alive, myself alive. But the devil came up. The operation gaped. And when my doctor, Proffesor Briggs, came back from abroad, because he didn't do the operation himself, he took me back to theater the second time. I nearly died. But because I know that my God was with me, I continued praying and I came out of that challenge. And that was a serious turning point for me, not to depart from God. So that was a turning point. And I've been going on with all sorts of challenges, but I've always sailed through because God was with me and my family. The second challenge was when I lost my husband. It was so unexpected. We went out together in the morning to her auntie's house that died that early morning. I came back and I went into the room to get ready to go for a lecture, only for me to come out to tell him to. So he was on the cushion, you know, and had what he was eating was in front, and I was telling him to shift, let me collect books to go for my lecture. Not knowing that I was talking to somebody that was almost gone. Myself and my daughter carried and yelled and then called the boys and we took him to the nearby clinic here in Orbital. Unfortunately, he couldn't wake up. That was a very big one again. And I said, God, in fact, I couldn't stand it until a choral group that I am a matron came and sang Anglican hymns for me for 2 hours. And I said, God, if you allowed it, let's forge on. I will leave everything to God. And since then too, he has been leading us. But not until again in September 2019, I went to work. had the seminar in the department and came back. Went to bed, no problem. But around 3 a.m., my tummy was something else. Aches, I was shouting. They called in the pastors from my church. They prayed, they rushed me to the nearby soda belt, precisely here. They admitted me, saying, oh, maybe it's food poisoning or something. After treating for some time, 2 days, I came back. It became worse. And they took me back. This scan, nothing was seen. So the doctors were very confused what was happening. And when they called in the surgeon from BMH, Surgeon Green, he came and said I was going to go to the theater immediately. Because before that I had gone for a second scan which showed there was something wrong with my appendix. On getting there, they said it was ruptured. And I entered the theater. They operated me on 21st of September 2019. We are treating, it gaped again. Very long operation, even with oxygen. By 25th of October, they took me to theater again to arrange my intestines. It was tough. That was a big challenge that the devil brought, but God saw me through. So all this had turned me around to God and nothing but God. And my family is happy that I'm alive. My life is full of testimonies, actually. At least all my children are educated. We are alive. It's not by our might, nor by our righteousness. One thing I will say is that my testimony is a lamp, or will I say a TV. All my life as a whole is a TV to the girl child. Let me also say that I'm a woman activist. I don't believe that women should be relegated to the background. I'd also say we are equal to men. I also know that the Bible said that God created man and woman equally in his own image. But the Bible also told us that the man is the head of the family. So I always teach in that line. I don't believe in women being recalcitrant. The woman must be under a man. But one thing I know, which I've shown through my life, is that the girl child must be taken care of. All females must go to school because education is the main background to anything anybody will be in life. I want to use this medium to please tell parents and traditional rulers to handle the girl child with care. There are a lot of things that are happening around women. There are a lot of things in various cultures. A lot of things in various cultures. We're getting female to the background. They won't allow females to talk or come near to anything that is good. It is not right. I've seen females that have done a lot. Margaret Atwood and others. Even the Queen of England. Even myself, that is a professor now. And let me say that I am the second female professor in the whole of Ikore land. The first professor was my mentor, my lecturer, late Professor Joyce from Imoha local government area. She taught me in secondary school. And since her demise, I'm the first now. I'm also the first in Obiapo local government, in Ikwere local government, Port Harcourt local government. Aside that, Emoha, where she came from. And so my life should be an example to people. I keep telling my students when I teach them that they should please take their education seriously and not go into any marriage empty-handed, so that the man will not make you a foot mad. That does not mean you should go and be stubborn or not respect your husband. You must be there. The Bible said we are created to be helpmates. If you don't have anything in your hand, you cannot help your husband and you cannot run the family well. So I'm an advocate of the girl child's education, appointment of women to posts because they can handle it just as the men can. Giving women chances to also bring out their own, disseminate their own knowledge to others. As for that of Niger Delta North, the women ministry is powerful. Right from when it was in the hands of Mrs. Chire Lemon, to when it came to Mrs. Bishop Kate, and now to our dear young wife of the bishop, Mrs. Ihun. They have been wonderful. They have been carrying women along. Women are learning a lot through our activities and also other trainings they are giving to women. So my prayer to the diocese is that they should continue carrying women along. Because the women, when they know Christ, will make every home also know Christ. They bring up their children the way the Bible says we should bring them up. And when they grow up, they will not go away from it. I'm a singer. In fact, I was a chorister when I was even in primary school. In St. Peter's. I was the person that was actually raising songs in St. Peter's when it was being dedicated, you know. They had to put on the cassock and put rope and tied it, and I put high heel to be able to rope. And I love hymns, I love choruses. But I know that also when my husband was alive, he so much liked him ancient and more than 165. And since he died, we have been, each time we go for our Thanksgiving, every second Sunday of January, we sing that hymn. It's, oh God, help in ages past, I hope for years to come, a shelter from the visible, and a defense is sure. You see, I mixed up the verse just to bring out where I am. I didn't sing the verse correctly. I'm telling you that God is our help. He's our guide. And our defense is sure. We always believe in that. He's a guide. He said, be thou our guide when troubles come. And our defense is sure. That's another part of it, almost the ending part of it. Apart from that, I always like to sing, to God be the glory, great things he hath done, for loving the world that he gave us his son. That is another song I like. Gave us his son. With his son we are covered. And I also say, be thou exalted, 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 Emmanuel. Be thou exalted, 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 Emmanuel. He must be exalted. In everything I do with my family. He's King of Kings, Lord of Lords. He must be exalted.